Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So my name's Katie and today I'm going to be doing the Bookternet All Stars Charity Challenge. So this challenge is hosted by the lovely Rachel from Rachael Marie's books, and every person who does this video, she's going to be donating €1 to COVID-19 relief, which is so great, and she's such a kind soul. And I'm so excited to be participating because it looks so much fun, and I've loved watching like everyone else's videos of this. So it's basically, have you read these popular books that are quite popular on Booktube? So let's just get started. So the first one is Angie Thomas. So I have read The Hate... Ooh, that's a wrong book. So I have read The Hate You Give, so I have it here, got the nice yellow sprayed edges. So I really love this one. It has really important social commentary, and I also really love like the family dynamic, and Star's such a great like feisty main character, so I love her. I haven't actually read On the Come Up yet, but I really want to. I have the audiobook like saved on my Scribed because I've heard that has a really good audiobook, so I'm looking forward to that one. And also the like new book that she's announced, Concrete Rose, sounds so good. And the cover for that one's really cool as well. I really like that one. And then the next one is the Shatter Me series by Tara Moffey. So I have actually read the first book, Shatter Me, but and I thought it was okay, but I didn't love it. So I might continue with the series if I had them like maybe on Scribd or something like free, but I probably wouldn't like go out of my way to buy it. Yeah, it was just kind of like standard YA like dystopian. I think it probably just, for me, I read it a bit late. I know I would have loved those books if I'd read them when I was like 17. But yeah, and I know so many people like love this series, which is great for them. But yeah, I think that's one that I probably won't be carrying on with. So then next we have Leah Bardugo, who is... I have a lot of books. I have Ninth House as well. So I really love her books, like Hold Up, Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. So I think these two are my favourites. Although I think I did give both of these and King of Scars and Ninth House all 5 stars. But yeah, I just really love them. She's such a great author. She's actually the only author signing I've been to, which was so great. She was so lovely, and she was really well spoken as well. It was like so motivating. But yeah, so these are both stunning, and this like the Six of Crows duology is like one of my favourite duologies. I just think like some of the characters like Nina and Inej, they just mean so much to me, and yeah, so I really love them. And then I actually really enjoyed King of Scars as well, which is the kind of spin-off book with Nikolai. I've seen quite mixed reviews for this one, but I just really loved it. And I didn't mind the like slow pacing, and I really like Nina's storyline, kind of healing from what happened to her in Crooked Kingdom. And yeah, just Nikolai is the best as always, and I really love Zoya. I think Zoya is like probably one of my favourite like Grishaverse characters, and just like how badass she is, and she's now like super powerful, which is so cool. But yeah, and I also really enjoyed Ninth House as well. I think probably because it has ghosts in, which I love ghosts. So yeah, and also the like dark academia vibes, and I love getting to know more about Yale as well, which is really cool. And then the next one is The Cruel Prince. So I have read this whole trilogy, which I mean, I enjoyed it. I think I gave them all like 3.75 4 stars. I just think the kind of atmosphere of this book is done really well. It's quite like well, Faye obviously. Yeah, I just kind of get that like garden-y, like kind of quite dangerous feeling. I mean, I wasn't the hugest fan of the like relationship in this series, although in Queen of Nothing it kind of grew on me, because like Carden turned into like a bit of a cinnamon roll, which I love those kind of characters. So yeah, so I did like that. And yeah, I think it's like a fairly solid series for YA. Like, it's not mind-blowing or anything, but I think if you know what you're getting, then it's still quite a lot of fun. And like, yeah, it's just fun like how kind of ruthless and like all the characters are, and it kind of, Jude really like goes after what she wants. So yeah, so that's a fun series. So next we have The Bone Witch by Chupeco. So I think I've read like most of Chupeco's books, so like The Bone Witch and The Never Tilting World up here. Yeah, and I really love all her books actually. I think yeah, The Never Tilting World is probably my favourite of her books, and also, but yeah, I really love the Bone Witch trilogy. Like, T is such a great main character, and yeah, it's just a really great kind of group dynamic in that series, and I would highly recommend that one if you haven't read it. And also, Chupeco needs all the love at the moment. But yeah, T kind of accidentally like raises her brother from the dead and discovers she has like necromancy powers, so then she has to go to like this kind of training thing to like train with the powers, and also the like prince and his guard. Is it guard or brother? I can't remember. But anyway, no, it's his guard. And yeah, they kind of get in an adventure with them, and yeah, they go on this like road trip thing. Anyway, it's good, you should read it. Next we have V Schwab. So I have Vicious here. I don't know why I didn't get all these books on beforehand, but yeah, so I have Vicious. So this is the only book of hers that I own like physically, but all the rest I have on my Kindle. So actually this is probably my least favourite of her books. Well, other than The Near, which I didn't really like that one. Yeah, I love the Dark Shade of Magic series, and also This Savage Song and Our Dog Duet. I think This Savage Song is probably my favourite book by her. I just love how like sweet August is. But yeah, and also the magic system's quite cool in that series. There's like, so these like big like disasters happen, and then from them you get monsters, which is so cool. And then the monsters, they're like different kinds of monsters, and they're kind of living in this city, and then like half the city is ruled by this like crime lord, and then half the city is ruled by this like police enforcement type thing. That's a bad description, but yeah. And then you have Kate and August, who are like on different sides of the city, and then they kind of meet and like their adventures from there. And then also A Dark Shade of Magic is like, you have these 4 Londons, and Kel, who's the main character, can travel between them, so that's kind of cool as well. And then this one, Vicious, you have like Victor and Eli, who are like superheroes basically, but they're both kind of evil, so I guess you could call them supervillains. But yeah, and it's just following them. So yeah, so I really like her writing, it's very beautiful. I'm excited to see what she puts out next. Yeah, and I always like her characters, they're always quite fun. So yeah, so that's that one. Next up is Cinder, or like the Lunar Chronicles, or Marissa Meyer. So I have I have Supernova, which is the last book in the Renegade series. So I love both the Renegades and also the Lunar Chronicles. Such a fun series, and they make you like so happy when you read them, and the characters are also great as well. I really love both those series. I think I don't know which one I like more. Renegades maybe? I don't know. But yeah, I love how like expanded the world gets in the Lunar Chronicles and like the later books where they're like all together. And yeah, just really love them both. And Cinder, she's such a great like protagonist as well. I really love her, just all the characters basically. Yeah, so I really love both of those. There's Adam Silvera, so he's like a popular contemporary author. So if you've watched this channel for any length of time, you probably know that I don't really like contemporary that much. Well, I do like it, but I just don't read it that much. So I haven't really read many of his books. I have read They Both Die at the End, which I kind of enjoyed. It was good. I liked how it was kind of exploring like, if you only had like one day left to live, what would you kind of do with it, and how certain like issues that you have might not go away just because you only have this like one day left. And also the character kind of coming out of his shell, I really liked. So yeah, I enjoyed that story, but I haven't read any of his other books. So next is Cassie Clare. So I obviously love Shadowhunters. I've got my collector's edition of Clockwork Angel. I also have, yeah, I own all the books either like physically or on my Kindle or on audio. I think I've Ghost of the Shadow Market on audio actually. But yeah, they're all, well, they're not all good. Well, I don't know, the Mortal Instruments, but I really love the Infernal Devices and the Dark Artificers, and also the Chain of Gold. I love how, like, I mean, I know a lot of people like give her like beef for staying in the same world all the time, but I honestly just really love the world of Shadowhunters, and like seeing all the families, and like when you know the family's surname, you like kind of know what you're gonna get, and it's just really fun. And the world, I think the world, she does a really good job of like expanding the world within like the world, if that didn't make sense, but yeah, so like in the Dark Artificers, you're really exploring the like Fae side of the world more, and then in the like Last Hours, so Chain of Gold, you're sort of exploring the like different hell dimensions basically, which was kind of cool. And yeah, so I just really love the series, and the characters are all so great. And yeah, just I kind of, because you kind of grow up with them, you kind of have a special place in your heart. So yeah, really love those ones. Then the next up is 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And yeah, I really love this one. I think I gave it 4 stars. Like, it's not my favorite like book ever, because I think a lot of people, it's like really impactful for them, which is so great. But I enjoyed this one, but like it wasn't a new favourite or anything. And I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, I loved Evelyn Hugo as a character so much. She's such a great character. And honestly, like, she kind of reads like a real person. Like, you're kind of Googling her, but then you discover she's not real. But yeah, I really loved her. But I think where the book just fell down a bit for me was, well, like the kind of dual timeline. I didn't quite really like the twist at the end. With like Monique, I don't know, just and also I wasn't a big fan of Celia. I don't know why I didn't like her that much. I just feel like Evelyn could have done so much better. But yeah, like, she was so like powerful, but then I don't know, I felt like she's kind of diminishing herself a bit. But anyway, yeah, that's that one. And I haven't actually read Daisy Jones and the Six, but I do want to. I think I'll definitely listen to the audiobook for that one. So then next up we have Laini Taylor. So I have a few of her books here. And I also have Muse of Nightmares and The First Daughter of Smoke and Bone on my Kindle. So I'll hold up Strange Dreamer. But I always think it's really funny when you try and abbreviate this, it abbreviates to STD. Oops. So I really love all her books. Her like prose is so beautiful. And I really like her characters as well, like Laszlo and Sarai in this book, and also like Minya, Ruby, Farrell, and the other one whose name I can't remember. They're so great. And yeah, just the kind of whimsy of her books is so great. It just kind of really transports you, and like everything like fantasy is. And yeah, in her other series I really love like Carew and Susanna and Mick, and yeah, all of them. And what's her name? Lyriel, I think, maybe Lizzle. And her love interest, oh, what's his name? And Liraz and Ziri. I loved Ziri. He's such a cute character. But yeah, so I love her characters. Next is Illuminae, the Illuminae files. So I have them. I have Gemina and Obsidio as well. So I think Gemina is probably my favourite book in this series. I'll get it out. And yeah, it's just such a great like YA sci-fi. This is probably one of the first like sci-fi books I read, actually, and there's just a really fun like case style format, and you like blast through them really quickly. In the first book we're following Katie and Ezra, who is it, Katie or Katie? Katie. I sound really American. Katie, and they basically just escaped their planet, which is being attacked by this like big corporate firm, and then they're kind of on the ships kind of trying to work out what happened. It's like a bit of a conspiracy, and yeah, and Katie and Ezra have just broken up as well, which not the best. But yeah, so that is that series, which I really love. And next we have Scythe by Neil Schusterman. So, and also I have the other 2 books there as well, like Thunderhead and The Toll. So I really love this series as well. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say it's like an all-time favourite or anything, but I think it does a really good job of, got a few tabs, just kind of like philosophising on how the world might look in like a few hundred years, and what the world would be like if there was no death. And I think it explores that really well. And also the Thunderhead, who's like this big AI, I think that's such an interesting concept to explore, because oftentimes in like science fiction you get the kind of AI is quite evil, but in this one's the Thunderhead is really like benevolent and wants what's best for humanity, but it's humanity that's kind of evil and like twisted and corrupt. So I think that is such an interesting kind of take on that. And also I know I've seen quite a lot of like mixed reviews for The Toll, which is the end book, but I actually quite enjoyed it, and I think the kind of the direction it took I quite liked. Which I know is not a popular opinion, but I kind of like the like sci-fi, and I think it was quite realistic of how if something bad were to happen, well, something bad is happening now, but we'll ignore that, but how humanity that might kind of drive humanity to like explore other planets. So I think that was really cool. So yeah, I like that series. I've been rambling on. So then next is Sarah J Maas, who I love. I'm trash. So Tower of Dawn is like the only book I own physically, which I think is actually my favourite in the Throne of Glass series. Also, I really love Kingdom of Ash as well. Oh, I have Crescent City as well. I forgot about that. So yeah, so I love her books. Yeah, they're just so much fun and you always kind of feel happy when you're reading them. And yeah, they are a bit problematic, but I think like a lot of YA books are problematic. So I don't know why Sarah J Maas gets so much hate for it. But yeah, I think yeah, she could definitely do with a bit more like diversity. But yeah, her books are quite a lot of fun. I just really love the kind of series and the expansion, and some of her characters are so great as well, like Ive and Irene and Manon. They're just some of my all-time favourite characters. And yeah, and I think she does deal with some topics, like quite serious topics, really well, like especially grief and PTSD as well. Yeah, and obviously where would we be without Rhys-Sand, who invented feminism. So yeah, so that's a really great series. Yeah, I just like her books, so yeah. They were kind of like the first like real like fantasy books that I properly got into when I was like 15, so yeah, that's a good series. The next we have An Ember in the Ashes by Salva here. So I really love this series. I think I gave the first two 5 stars and then the third one 4.5 stars. Although actually I might change that because I don't know, I feel like the last one, actually, when I've thought about it for a bit, is actually maybe my favourite, I don't know. But I just really like the kind of last one. It kind of follows a similar structure to Well of Ascension, where it's like a big siege at the end, which I love. But anyway, yeah, it's a great series, and I like all the characters in that one, like Lyra and Elias and Helene. And the first one is kind of, Lyra gets sent by the rebels to infiltrate this like military academy. She's kind of posing as a slave. And then we're also following Elias, who is one of the like they're called masks, so one of the students at this military academy, and it's just kind of following them and the kind of rebellion storyline. But yeah, it's just such a great series, and the kind of setting is really good, and yeah, everything. And the next is Shannon Maguire. So I have read Middle Game and also the first 4 books in the Way with Children series. So I really enjoyed Middle Game. I think I gave that one 4.5 stars. I just really love Dodger. She's like the maths. So they have this like these twins, and like one is maths and one is language, and they're like both like prodigies at that. And yeah, I just really love Dodger, who's like good at maths, because I was good, well, that sounds a bit braggy, but yeah, I was good at maths in school as well, and like doing the kind of maths competitions and stuff. And yeah, just kind of reminded me of that. I really loved her. So yeah, I enjoyed that one. The Way with Children series, it's kind of hit or miss. Like, I kind of enjoyed them when I was listening to them, but I think I just have a problem with novellas. Like, I think I would have really loved that series if it had been like full-length books, but it just wasn't enough. Yeah, I just felt like kind of was missing a bit. I think my favourite probably was Down Among the Sticks and Bones, or I actually quite like Beneath the Sugar Sky as well. But yeah, I think they're really good like in terms of like whimsy, but I think it just they didn't quite have enough time to like become what they could have been. And we're getting to the end now. So you have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. So this is the sequel, The Dragon Republic, because this is the only one that I own. Well, I have The Poppy War on my Kindle, but yeah, I really love this one. It's such a great series, and yeah, it's just, yeah, read it. It's quite different from all the other books on this list, actually. This one's like dark adult fantasy and all the rest are kind of YA, but I would highly recommend this one, especially if you're looking for a great fantasy book to read during the Asian readathon. Yeah, this one's great. And in the first, we're kind of following Rin, who's like going to this school, yeah, and then the countries are kind of at war and she gets involved in the war. And I think this series takes a look at kind of the human consequences, like the consequences on humans of war, if that makes sense. And it's just such a great series, so I would highly recommend. And then the last one is To All the Boys I've Loved Before, which I haven't read this series. I have watched the first film on Netflix, which I really love. It's like perfect when you need a bit of cheese. But they are like on my radar, and if I'm in the mood for them I probably will read them, but like they're not high priority or anything. Probably because they're not fantasy. But yeah, so that is everything. So thank you again to Rachel so much for doing this tag. So do let me know in the comments if you've read any of these books, or if you've done this video. I would love to watch it. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And yeah, I hope you're all having a good day, and I will see you next time.